So I get asked all the time by the leaders that I work with, from the CEOs to the students, what do great leaders actually do? And you'd think we'd have that answer. You'd think that especially those who have risen to positions of leadership would know what does it mean to take action as a leader. But in fact, most of us have this gap, this kind of uncertainty about what it actually means to take steps forward as a leader or what they do to improve their leadership. It's crazy. When you think about all the textbooks, all of the courses that exist on this subject, yet so many people feel like, I just don't really know what's being asked of me. I get what leadership looks like, but what do I do in my life? I actually don't know what those steps are. So in fact, let's break down 3 steps that allow you to take leadership on in your life or in your business or with your team in a way you've never done before. Because leadership is one thing, and we want it to be more than that. I mean, we want it to be this thing that's so grand, this idea is so big that it warrants all the courses. But in fact, it's a really simple notion. And when you let it be that simple notion, it actually allows you to figure out, what does it require me to do? And so this is what leadership is, this core idea. Imagine you're on a path in your life or on a team or in your business, and you realize if we just keep going straight, if we just keep doing what we're doing, we're not going to reach the destination that we envision. I'm not going to lose the weight. We're not going to win this game. We're not going to increase our sales. Whatever it is, if we just keep doing what we're doing, we're not going to get there. Well, then leadership is simply the ability to do this. To create an inflection point, to create a pivot, to change the destination or the target. I mean, that is leadership, period. And so when you start to think about, well, what does it take to actually do that? It breaks down to 3 steps. Here's what great leaders do. They set the target and the rules. What do I mean by that? Well, if straightforward's not going to work, how do we start to paint a new vision? A new idea of the future? How do we start to have people understand what the new target could look like? And I think about someone like Elon Musk whenever I think about vision. He's got this extraordinary ability to see visions that are so far out there. I mean, he doesn't just think 3 steps in front of us or 30 steps in front of us. He thinks 30 years in front of us. And he allows people to start to see this potential future that doesn't yet exist. He creates these visions that are so compelling. So great leaders, what do? They set the target. But then they also set the rules. They set the lines that we won't cross. They set the boundaries for the journey. They say, fair enough, if we want to get here, well then who do we refuse to be along the journey? Elon Musk would say we refuse to take on traditional problems. We refuse to look like our competitors.
Life's got to be about more than just solving problems. You want to get up in the morning and say, yes, I'm looking forward to that thing happening.
That's step 1 of great leadership. Then what about step 2? Step 2 is about making people believe because you believe. Think about Oprah for a minute. Born into poverty, bounced between homes, demoted in one of her first jobs. And then she decides, this isn't the path I'm going to go down. I'm not going to go down the same route that everyone would expect me to go down. I'm going to change my life. Moves to Chicago, starts building the Oprah show, starts to build an influence and a following because she started to believe in herself, and as a result, others started to believe. And in fact, Oprah's built her influence because she's given people permission to feel like they can believe in themselves. It's one of the most powerful steps of leadership. One of the most influential people in the world, from a place where lots of people could have said the path she was on would never get her there.
You don't become what you want, because so much of wanting is about living in the space of what you don't have.
She took on step 2 of leadership in a way that few others have, which brings us to step 3. If great leaders set the target and the rules and they make people believe because they believe, they then take action like it doesn't matter if people follow. Now this sounds crazy because leadership is defined by followership. It requires people to come with you. But think about someone like Sylvester Stallone, 1975, watches a boxing match, comes home and writes a script in under 4 days. Rocky. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows what that script is. And he starts to tell people about this movie he's going to make. This incredible movie. He starts to shop this script around. People start to buy in as well. And then they ask him, well, will you sell it but not be the star? He says no. He will make Rocky happen, whether you buy in or not. Whether you're willing to follow or not, he's going to make this thing happen. And he does. 1976, puts out this movie, 10 Academy Awards, wins Best Director, Best Screenplay. That was Sylvester Stallone taking action like it doesn't matter if people follow. And guess what? When you do it, when you have that kind of conviction, when you have that kind of commitment, they do follow.
Well, yeah, you have nothing to lose when you have nothing to lose.
This idea of leadership, that we can create this inflection point, that we can paint this vision and get people out there, requires us to take these 3 steps. We set the target and the rules. We make people believe because we believe. And then we take action like it doesn't matter if people follow. And when you do that, leadership starts to become a very real thing in your life. It doesn't just become this idea, this thing that exists in textbooks. It exists in your life in a way that allows you to actually make the change you're seeking. So what do great leaders actually do? They follow these 3 steps. And as a result, they can change their life and the lives of others. That is leadership.